All right, I'm going to lead with Ken Flo on the main event. Rafael Fiziev minus 205. Rafael Dos Anjos plus 175. Fiziev coming in, of course, off of that resounding win over Brad Riddell. 31st UFC fight for the legend Rafael Dos Anjos, one of my absolute favorites. My head was spinning, so when I went to prep today, I literally lost track of how many main events and big fights this guy has been in, Kenny. And I'm going to bang the drum so fucking hard for RDA to get into the UFC Hall of Fame. I'm going to bang it like I've never banged it for anybody else. Won the lightweight title, defended it, 30-plus UFC fights. But Ken Flo, he is an underdog here against Rafael Fiziev. How do you handicap the main event?
This is an interesting one. I think that Dos Anjos has some value here. I think that Fiziev is a fantastic striker. I think he's a little bit sharper and faster than Dos Anjos. If the fight stays on the feet, I think Fiziev wins this one. But I think people forget that Dos Anjos does have the ability, especially at 155 pounds, to get you up against a cage, pose a lot of problems, fight smart, take down, and win, grind out a win. He definitely did that in his fight against Moicano. Now, Moicano was coming up from 145 pounds, has fought at 145 pounds, was taking the fight on short notice, and is a pretty dangerous guy. Certainly not the quality of striker that Fiziev is, but a dangerous guy nonetheless. And I thought that it was a very dominant performance over Moicano. So I think there's definitely some value there for RDA. Fiziev seems like he's extremely athletic, extremely talented, very sharp with his striking. We haven't seen him against a high-level grappler like an RDA. So that has me a little bit confused, to be honest. I would be leaning towards
getting a little choppy here with Ken Flo, who just went out completely as he was about to give his selection.
Ray was about to give his pick.
Thank God we got to the UFC 276 stuff. So I don't know if Cody has the ability to mute Ken Flo. Hey, Kenny. You're going in and out. Sorry. Thankfully, I can hear you now. We just need the pick. We got everything up until the actual prediction.
Let's go with RDA. I'll go with RDA.
RDA plus 175 for Ken Flo, who has been streaking pretty well with his predictions of late. And we close out the picks with Brian Petrie on the main event. Fiziev, Dos Anjos. Who do you have, kid?
God, I love this number on RDA, and I thought Kenny was going to go the other way with this shiny new toy at 155 that no one, we haven't really seen a lot yet. I mean, he's been finished once, but I was by a backlist. Listen, I go back to the Bobby Green fight. The Bobby Green fight. Bobby Green's is a well-rounded guy. I think RDA is a more better version of Bobby Green with better takedowns, bigger, stronger, better striking. And Fiziev, I thought he struggled a little bit.
Both times, that's okay.
Both times, okay. Rafael, is that his name? There he is.
It's actually
Again,
Rafael,
the marbles in the mouth, John. It's
just like my craft, my life's work is having
to
practice these a million times, dude.
So real quick before Heidi Dean, who is a fan of everyone on this show, she watches my podcast and she'll send me the files of everyone I mispronounce and goes,
no way.
I swear to God. She goes, John studies these, and she's just like busting my balls. It's so funny. Like I struggle with last time I did the show, I forget. I mean, it's like 3 of them. She's like, here they are. And they were pretty easy ones too. Anyway, I'm going RDA. I love the price. I love that. I think he's going to grapple. I love him back at 55. He's in Brazil now as well. He's got his whole new training camp circled around him in Brazil. Give me him. I think he's gonna at this number, and I think he's gonna climb too. I think he's gonna get closer to 2. I think a lot of people are gonna fade him in this spot just because of his age and the wear and tear and everything. But I like RDA. I love it. Yeah. Give me RDA, babe.
Interesting. And I appreciate the nice words about the pronunciations, but it really does come down to practice.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Because otherwise, I'd be out there saying Brad Quake Rydell.
Right.
All right, my man. Great to see you. If you want more from Brian Petrie, he does a podcast called the MMA Takes Podcast. And you can find him on social media at Brian Petrie MMA. Twitter is his primary social media conduit. VP. Much love. Have a great weekend. We will talk to you, of course, in advance of Yair Rodriguez and Brian Ortega coming up on ABC. Appreciate you very much.
Awesome, boys. I'll see you. John, happy birthday again, and have a good week, boys.
Thank you, buddy. There he is, the great Brian Petrie, big gun, with us here on the Anik and Florian podcast. I mean, you using that word mount on our UFC Suit 73 exclusive was just unbelievable. Got the mount. Cody Merrow with us for the Merrow Seconds. I was sort of playing with the name of this segment, Cody, right? Because bone marrow is good, and then it's like we're sort of like, I feel like when they serve like bone marrow at fancy restaurants, it's like a delicacy, and it's like a little bit of something. So it actually would fit if there was a way to make that. You got Ray Longo minute, Merrow Seconds. It's like a little cheesy, So
Yeah, I mean, and
at Anik Florian Pod if you got suggestions, See you.
I last longer than Ray, So why should I get shafted with the seconds and he's got minutes? I should be the Merrow hours. You know what I'm saying?
All right. So what did we miss, and what do you have for us on the way out? We just lost Ken Flo technically, so if he can refresh, he'll be back in. Otherwise, we'll close it out without him. What do you got, Cody?
Well, I'm bringing Ken Flo back in, but yeah, John, much respect for the pronunciation. Alex Pereira, that's one that's done a lot. You hear that a lot of different ways the last week. And so to hear you get that, right, is very impressive. And Charles Oliveira, Davison Figueiredo.
Come on, man. What are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me?
No, so real talk on the Merrow Seconds. I have never been more intimidated by a man, by an aura, than Davison Figueiredo. When I met him, walked by him, literally I've never been more scared of somebody who was 5'3" in my entire life. Ever. Just emits this aura, and I'm sure he just has this energy of I'll kill you.
I think he's closer to 5'5", but yeah, that's very interesting. I really
I don't anything below 5'6", I really can't see. So
yeah.
Just
what else did you pick up on in Vegas there, kid?
Well, once again, shout out Heidi Dean. Just what a sweetheart. Just the absolute, one of the best people in the whole game, wanted to jump back on Brian's shout out there. I tweeted this, if Brian Tavares wasn't Hawaiian, he's getting finished in the second round of that fight. I mean, what is he made out of? That fight was insane. In person, also, that Adesanya walkout was nuts. In the building, absolutely crazy. So I was lucky enough, John, and thank you again. I was sitting next to DC's brothers. And so his older brother he's got a cane, he's from the South, and he's talking, he's like, man, I'll tell you. He's like, I like Cannonier by decision. He's like, you should put in that live bet right now. The walkout started. He tapped me on the shoulder. He goes, man, I hope you didn't put in that bet. So that walkout was crazy. So
if you didn't see it, he did the whole Undertaker routine from professional wrestling with the urn that said Jared on it. DC was so in his element that I literally went like this. I sort of gave him a gesture like, would you like to lead Adesanya's walk here, right? Because traditionally I lead the walk and then I pass the baton to either Joe or DC. And I was looking at him like, do you want to lead this, man? You look pretty fired up, because Joe and I have no idea what we're watching right now. And, he deferred, and eventually we got there. But yeah, it was a cool visual, no doubt. He came early to practice it, and great job by Zach Candido and our entire production team, Michael LaPlante, getting all that together.
Well, and how cool for little Daniel too, to be sitting right there with his dad, and that walkout happens, and Vince and Triple H come walking in. Shaq is there. I mean, what a great just weekend for DC. I mean, shout out to Hall of Famer. That was incredible. Last but not least, Hamzat tweeted about wanting to fight Alex Pereira, which then got a lot of responses of well, now you're ducking Bilal, which behind the scenes, Joe Burrow was lobbying Dana White to get the Bilal Hamzat fight. So
I love it.
Joey Burr, we got some energy coming out of the state of Ohio, for our boy Bilal. So I thought there was a lot of good stuff coming from this weekend.
Good stuff, Cody, and great job with your boots on the ground. And it is amazing how many high-profile professional athletes now, relative to 15 years ago, absolutely love the UFC. I can't tell you how many Major League Baseball players whom I've connected with who are just all about it. Evan Longoria, chief among them, killed the Red Sox for years. But Joe Burrow, right? All about the UFC and trying to put fights together. That is wicked cool. All right, today's show was brought to you in part by UFC Fight Pass, the world's premier combat sports streaming service with over 200 live events, the largest fight library in existence, original shows, and more. You can sign up for 1 year and get half off for a limited time at UFCFightPass.com/sign up.